To book a private reading, email me at tarakite@hotmail.com. Thanks. Hi Virgo, welcome to your November 2016 Tarotscope, and make sure to check for your moon sign and your rising sign as well. Alright, and for the main focus, you got the Page of Cups. And I also pulled a card from the Messenger Oracle deck by Ravynne, Phelan, and you got this Have Courage card. Alright, and before I pulled your cards, I just got this sense that, you're really focused this month. I just feel like some of you are really, sticking to a schedule or sticking to a plan. It just seems like you're really wanting to get some things done. I also feel like there's this, sentimental feeling. I just feel like some of you are thinking about the past a lot this month. And I feel like some of you feel like you've missed out on an opportunity. But what Spirit wants you to know is that, you haven't missed out. Some good opportunities are going to be, headed your way, and, you haven't missed out. And Spirit wants you to know is that, you're right on track. And if something didn't work out in the past, if an opportunity didn't work out in the past, Spirit wants you to know it wasn't meant to be, And, I found in my life that, better things, come to me than what I even expected. And, that wasn't meant to be because Spirit was wanting to give you, something better. Alright? And Spirit wants you to know that, they're guiding you to make certain changes. And so really pay attention to, your own intuition this month. If you feel like you should, do something, do it. I feel like it goes with this Page of Cups card. With this card, I just feel like a lot of inspiration, a lot of good ideas are, headed your way. And I just feel like it's so important for you to, have courage to do it. For example, maybe you get an idea that, starting your own business would be, something you would like to do, then, go for it. Don't think that that's silly or it can't happen, because it can. Alright, Spirit is really trying to communicate with you this month, so, really pay attention to the signs and pay attention to your intuition. If you feel guided, if you feel like you should do something, then go for it. Alright, so, this month I do feel like it is important to, be open to change and to be open to, doing and trying new things. And I feel like, you're going to feel inspired to do new things and to try new things. And also, Spirit wants you to know that they want you to just, go for things. Try not to think too hard about it, just go for it. Sometimes we need the experience to, truly learn something, It's like learning how to ride a bike. You could read books about it, you can do a lot of research about it, but you're not going to actually know how to ride a bike until you get on the bike, until you try to do it. And so I feel like it's important for you to really, just go for things and, and just try things out. And also, I feel like, it'd be good for you guys to just relax, too. I think that's good that you guys are focused, and that you're really going for things, but take some time out to relax, and to just, wind down, relax, take the time to really pamper you as well this month. And don't be too hard on yourself as well. I feel like some of you are being too hard on yourself, so, don't be too hard on yourself. You're wonderful, you're amazing, Virgo. So, once again, listen to those good ideas that are going to be, coming your way. Listen to the inspiration. Really listen to yourself. Listen to your own intuition. Just think about it. What is it that you truly want to do? And I feel like some of you have been feeling a little bit lost. It's like you don't know what it is that you want to do. It's like you just feel a little bit lost in, like, career. But, you do know that deep down. You really do. Just take the time to meditate and to just to really listen to yourself. You know, if you really think about it, you know, what are the things that you like to do? Do you like to write? Do you like to bake? You know, just really listen to yourself. You know, if, you know, ask yourself this question, you know, if I knew that I could do anything, you know, that I wanted to do, you know, if money was an issue, time was an issue, what would that be? Okay, ask yourself that. And, you know, and that's the thing that you should be following, and don't let anything stop you. Don't think that money, like you don't have enough time to do something, or don't think you don't have enough money to do something. You know, just keep doing what you love to do, and you know, and the universe will provide. You know, just keep following your passion, and you know, and the universe will provide. So, you know, don't let anything stop you from following your dreams. You know, have courage. You know, it may seem intimidating, you know, it may seem like you have to get all these things done. You know, it's like with the business example, you know, maybe feel like you have to, you know, get all these things done before you can start a business, but, you know, don't let that stop you. You know, just take things one step at a time. You know, sometimes, you know, it can be overwhelming when we think about everything all at once that we got to do. So, you know, I just feel like it would be a good idea to just, you know, take small steps, you know, just, you know, try to get things done one step at a time, alright? And know that you can do anything, alright? Yeah, just go for it. Just go for your dreams, Virgo. Alright, and for the beginning of the month, you got the Hangman, and you got Know That You Belong. Know You Belong, alright. And with the Hangman, I'm feeling like some of you, like, once again, I just feel like some of you have been thinking about the past a lot. It's almost like you're stuck in the past a bit. But Spirit really wants you to, you know, just have the courage to move forward. You know, I feel like some of you have been, like, discouraged in the past with a certain dream. You know, let's just say in the past, you know, you really like to write it, but, you know, maybe you wrote a story, but maybe you got discouraged with it, you know. You know, maybe somebody didn't like your story and, you know, you kind of gave up. But Spirit wants you to not give up. Spirit wants you to keep following your dreams. You know, try again. You know, maybe, you know, try a new publisher or self-publish, you know. I just feel like you have good ideas and, you know, you're doing some really good things. And don't let what happened in the past, you know, stop you from trying it again today. I just feel like you're so talented. But, you know, you were discouraged. Some of you, I just feel like you were discouraged in the past, and that's what's, you know, holding you back right now. But I feel like you just need to let go of that. Just let go of the old past, you know, hurts, you know, let go of what people have said in the past about you. And, you know, I just feel like it's so important for you to, you know, move forward today and know that you are talented. You know, what they say doesn't matter. You know, you are talented in whatever it is that you like to do. You know, this is your path. All that matters is what, you know, you think of you. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. And, you know, this advice has really helped me. You know, it doesn't, what good or bad things that people have to say about you don't matter, you know, the bad and the good, you know, because sometimes it even gets discouraging when we're not, you know, it is discouraging when we get bad reviews, but sometimes when, you know, nobody even says anything or doesn't, you know, give us any sort of review, like any good, you know, sometimes it is discouraging when we're not getting compliments, but we gotta let that go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're not getting any compliments or anybody, you know what I'm trying to say? You know, even if you aren't feeling supported, you know, even if nobody's complimenting you or supporting you in your dream, don't let that discourage you as well. Alright? So don't let the negative things that people say discourage you, but also, you know, don't let, you know, not getting any support or any sort of compliment, don't let that discourage you as well. You know, once again, it doesn't matter about what good or bad things people are going to say about your work. You know, all that matters is what you think about it, you know? You know, all that matters is what you think about yourself as well. It doesn't matter what good or bad things people have to say about you. All that matters is, you know, what you think of you. Alright. You know, you just keep following your heart and, you know, you do what you think is best. You know, that's all that matters. And with this Know You Belong card, yeah, know that you belong. You know, you you are so, I feel like some of you feel like you're not, like, important or something, like you haven't been noticed in something, but you are so important, so special. Spirit wants you to know that. You're so talented. And I feel like a lot of you have been very thoughtful and have been doing a lot for others, and I feel like some of you have been feeling a little bit unnoticed with that. But Spirit wants you to know is that it has not been unnoticed. Spirit has noticed all, the wonderful things that you've been doing for others, and, and all the wonderful, things that you've been doing. You're so creative, so, talented, and very thoughtful. And Spirit wants you to know that they notice that, and don't think that it's not going to be, rewarded, okay? I feel like you have, really good karma, and labels are for cans, not people, okay? So, once again, it doesn't matter what people want to say about you, okay? All that matters is what you think about you, and, and you're wonderful, and I want you to, tell yourself that, all right? So don't let anybody, make you feel like you don't belong, or, you're weird or whatever, because there is no such thing as normal, okay? And just know that you do belong. This earth needs you to do what it is that you were meant to do. You have some wonderful ideas. And, and by following your passions and by following your dreams, you are, making this world a better place. You are an inspiration, and keep believing that, all right? And I feel like it's so important this month for you to just, let go of whatever happened in the past, any hurts that happened in the past, so just, let that go, and to just, move forward. This is a new day for you. I feel like it's so important for you to embrace change and to just move forward. And I know I was talking a lot about career, but this could also be, in relationships, maybe, you haven't found, the right mate yet. Maybe you have felt discouraged, in the past, and so now you don't feel like there's anybody out there for you. But what I want you to know, there is somebody out there for you, and there is, whatever didn't work out in the past, it didn't work out for a reason. That person just wasn't, your match, wasn't, you'll find somebody better suited for you in the future. Everything happens for a reason. That just wasn't meant to be, but, Spirit's trying to bring you somebody that is, better suited for you. So, just don't give up on whatever your hopes, your dreams are, and don't let, I guess just in general, for all of you, whatever this is, career, relationships, whatever, don't let what other people in the past, have said about you, affect you today. Don't let that hold you back, and don't believe it. Don't believe the negative, the hurtful things, just let that go, set that aside, just completely let it go, and just, just forgive it and let it go, and when we forgive, it's not like we're saying, whatever somebody did was all right. That's not when we forgive, we're just, letting that go. We're doing it, you do it for you. And so I feel like this month is so important for you guys to really release and to just, let go of the past, and to just look forward to the future, and to just live in the present moment at the same time. I feel like it's important for you to keep moving forward, and to embrace change, and to, just stay in the present moment and just enjoy this moment now, and know that, good things are in store for you. The best is not behind you. You have wonderful things in store for you, all right? Okay, and for the middle of the month, you got the Two of Wands and this Do Not Fear the Unknown card. All right, and with the Two of Wands, I feel like, really good ideas are flowing to you. I'm noticing the ocean in this card, and I feel like it's so important for you to, just, be open to the possibilities and to, not limit yourself. And I feel like this middle of the month you have really good manifesting skills. I feel like you're pulling in some good ideas, and I feel like these ideas are going to really help you with your, your abundance. I feel like, you're just attracting really good things this month, this middle of the month here. And I feel like, yeah, you're looking at the possibilities. It's like you got the world in your hands. I just feel like you're not limiting yourself. I feel like by the middle of the month, you're feeling better about things. And you're looking forward and not back here. You're not stuck. It just seems like you're really open to the possibilities here. And this card, do not fear the unknown. This is exactly what it says. Do not fear the unknown, Virgo. Don't limit yourself. Don't think anything is, not possible here. And yeah, just don't limit yourself. And it's like what I was saying earlier, don't think that your dreams are silly or, you can't accomplish something, all right? Because you can do anything. And don't worry about all the, just go for it. Go for your dreams. Don't worry about all the little things that you got to do, You'll get it done. You'll get through it. Just focus on things one step at a time, and don't worry. Don't worry like, oh, is this, if I start my own business, is it going to fail? Don't even think like that. Just go for it, okay? All right. And for the end of the month, you got the King of Wands, and you got this Embrace Spirit card. And I feel like, yeah, with this King of Wands, you're really wanting to take action now by the end of the month. You're really wanting to make things happen, and you're really wanting to take action here. I feel like you're wanting to go more out and about as well. And before I pulled this card, I saw an image of a rainbow, and so I feel like, blessings are in store for you, And also pay attention to the signs. I feel like you're going to be getting, some good signs as well. Embrace Spirit. Spirit is really trying to communicate with you. And know that you are supported and, protected by your spiritual team. And just go for things, you're meant to shine. And, and this King of Wands, he's, he's larger than life type of person. He's got a lot of charm. This person may like to go out and about, outdoorsman, I feel like there is this feeling of, wanting to get out and about and you're just wanting to learn new things and experience new things. Like that example with the bike, I just feel like you're wanting to, really experience things, It's like you've read a lot about certain things or daydreamed a lot about certain things, but now it's like, okay, it's my turn now. I want to just go out in there and try it. Maybe you thought, hey, I'm gonna maybe try that karaoke or sing in front of people. Maybe you've really thought about it a lot, and you maybe even practiced, but now it's like, okay, I'm going to go out there and do it in front of an audience now. I'm just going to do it and see what that's like. I just get this feeling of you actually wanting to experience things. And that is the best way to learn things, is by experiencing it. All right. Well, have a wonderful month, Virgo. Much love and many blessings to you all. Bye.